Once upon a time, in a busy city far from the peaceful mountains, there lived a famous sculptor. He was known for creating statues so lifelike they seemed ready to breathe. But despite his talent, his studio was a mess. Pieces of broken marble were scattered everywhere, reminders of projects he had abandoned. Among the shattered stone, the sculptor sat sadly, staring at his latest work. It was a statue meant to honor the city's wise monk, Master Wise Monk. The statue was a disaster. The face was misshapen, the hands uneven, and deep cracks ran through the torso. It was his greatest failure, and he couldn't bring himself to start over. Word of the sculptor's struggle reached Master Wise Monk, who decided to visit him. When the monk arrived, the sculptor quickly covered the statue. "I'm sorry, Master," he said, bowing low. "I have failed to capture your wisdom and grace. I am not worthy." Master Wise Monk smiled gently and said, "May I see the statue?" Reluctantly, the sculptor uncovered it. The monk stepped closer and touched the cracks and uneven parts with his fingers. To the sculptor's surprise, Wise Monk began to laugh. "Why are you laughing, Master?" the sculptor asked, confused. "Because this statue is perfect," Wise Monk said, smiling warmly. The sculptor frowned. "Perfect? But it's full of flaws. It doesn't show your greatness." Wise Monk sat down and gestured for the sculptor to join him. "Do you know why people come to monks like me for guidance?" he asked. The sculptor thought for a moment. "Because you are wise and without faults," he said. Wise Monk chuckled softly. "That's not true. People come to me because I have failed many times. I have made mistakes, doubted myself, and struggled. But I've learned that failure is not the end. It's like a crack in a wall, where light can shine through." He pointed to the statue. "This statue doesn't need to show my greatness. It tells a deeper truth. We are all imperfect. We all have flaws, but those flaws don't make us weak. They make us human. They show how we've grown and persevered." The sculptor sat quietly, thinking about the monk's words. Wise Monk stood and placed a hand on his shoulder. "Your job is not to hide the flaws, but to embrace them. Fix this statue, not by removing the cracks, but by honoring them. Let it show the beauty of resilience." Inspired by these words, the sculptor began to work again. This time, he didn't hide the cracks. Instead, he filled them with gold, creating a beautiful pattern that transformed the broken statue into something extraordinary. When the statue was unveiled, the people of the city were moved to tears, not because it was perfect, but because it felt real. Years later, the statue stood proudly in the city square as a symbol of hope and strength. And the sculptor, once full of doubt, became known not for creating flawless art, but for celebrating the beauty of imperfection. If we see in our own lives, we often think our failures define us, that the cracks in our journey are signs of weakness. But just like the sculptor's statue, those cracks tell our story. They show where we've stumbled, where we've struggled, and where we've grown. Every mistake, every setback, every moment of doubt, it's not the end. It's an opportunity to fill those cracks with something golden: resilience, courage, and wisdom. It's a chance to transform what seems broken into something uniquely beautiful. So the next time you face failure, don't hide it. Don't be ashamed of it. Embrace it. Let it teach you. Let it shape you. And remember, just as the flawed statue became a symbol of hope, your journey, imperfections and all, can inspire others. The strength to move forward isn't about avoiding failure. It's about learning to see failure as a stepping stone toward greatness. Because in the end, it's not our perfection that connects us, but our ability to rise despite the cracks.